Welcome into the doors of psychic experience and star people. Thank you for tuning in. Ask and you will be given what you asked for. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. For everyone who asks receives. Anyone who seeks finds. If only you will knock, the door will open, and the truth within your higher self will be revealed to you. Come with us now and go with us where angels come and so can you.
Welcome to our show, Psychic Experience of Star People. This is our 131st show. It's being presented by the First Spiritualist Church in San Diego. It's a church where angels come and so can you any Sunday. We're located in the City Heights area on off of University Avenue, 1 block south of University, and we're on the corner there. So this is a church where angels come, and so can you. I am Reverend Doris. I'm the host and co-hostess of this show. And this show is many things. It's metaphysical, it is spiritual, and it is educational. Now, if you're looking for a church that's really different, that has better vibrations or higher vibrations, the First Spiritualist Church is definitely where you can find that. So it could be your answer. You will have a different approach to religion, the spiritual life, after you've been with us. And we are a teaching and healing church. We have wonderful aura healings to start with a meditation. We have wonderful lecturers who are very experienced in teaching, and afterwards we have wonderful workshops and luncheons in the adjoining church facility of Johnson's Hall. We also have a Lyceum teacher who comes the first Sunday of each month, and she starts in at 10:45 to 12:30 when we're done with our worship service. By the way, our worship services are always followed by communications. This is when the people on the platform give spiritual messages to those people in the audience. We have very interesting guests on this show. Tonight, our guest is going to be Reverend Noal Douglas Despain, and he is on the board of directors. He also plays the piano and organ on Sundays. And I'd like him to just look over at you and say hello now. Then we're going to start talking, both of us.
Hello there. It's wonderful to be on this show with Reverend Doris tonight, and I really appreciate the invitation to be here with her and to speak with you and find the interest that may be here.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to tell the audience just a little bit about you, and I'm going to do something I haven't done before. With your bio, I'm going to be asking you questions at the same time.
Oh, good.
So it's going to be a little bit of a different and interesting way to do this. I would like to tell you that Noal's spiritual journey on this planet began on the 16th of June, 1941, when he was born in Park City. It was a miners' hospital in Park City, Utah. He was the second of 8 children, being the second child born, but the first male child. He was being raised as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is Mormonism. At the age of 19 years, he served a 3-year mission for the church. Later, he became a member of Terry Cole Whittaker's ministry, which we had for many years downtown San Diego. He has studied the principles of science of mind. And how did you get involved with all of that?
Well, Reverend Doris, when I first came to San Diego, I had left taken myself out of the religion that I was living in, and I have always looked for some religion that I could gravitate to, or that I was drawn to.
Okay.
And Terry Cole Whittaker's minister was the first one that I became involved in when I came down to San Diego.
Okay, well, she had a very large following. I wanted to ask you a little about your experience with shamanism and the science of the Mayan sacred calendar and Buddhism and the ways of the Great White Brotherhood and the Masters of the East. You got involved with every one of those all at once or one by one?
No, I got involved with them all at once.
At the same time?
Isn't that interesting? Because all of them came in at the same time. When I started with Terry Cole Whittaker in ministry, then was studying also the science of mind principles with Kathy Hearn, which had her own church. And at all at that same time, I was looking into all of these other ways of thinking, other ways of being.
Now, how many years was that you were involved with all of that? I'm sure you're still interested.
I am still totally involved in all of it.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, is it true that all this led you to study spiritualism at the First Spiritualist Church of San Diego, that you went through that twice?
Well, I did do that. Yes, I have been through it once, and I am now going through it for the second time. I am still in the Spiritualist Church at San Diego. But the first time that I started with the First Spiritualist Church in San Diego was after I had been studying with the Terry Cole Whittaker Ministries, and I had been gotten into shamanism. I had a friend that was very, very deeply involved in shamanism at that time, and that's how it happened.
Okay, it looks like that first time was between 1989 and 1994 that you sort of went on a different
That was at
pathway.
the First Spiritualist Church,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Then you came back again in 2005, I believe, that when I invited you to
was
be the music director to play the piano and the organ.
That's correct. That was you.
And we were very lucky you said yes.
Yeah.
Then after completing your psychic development class with myself and completing all the spiritual law classes and all the spiritual healing classes offered by the church, I decided to ordain you.
That's right.
You were a licentiate minister to start with, and then what happened next was in September 27th, 2009, you were ordained as a full member. Now, how do you feel about that?
Well, as a full minister in the church, it gives me the opportunity to share what I have learned through my life, through my own spiritual path.
Okay, so you have since 2005 done just about every one of the Sunday services, working as a pianist, organist.
Yes.
And you sing beautifully. You make me go into wonderland and peace when I hear you sing. Something just happens to me. I go in outer space. You also are playing the piano and singing at the same time. Not very many people can do that. You also have been training people to sing solo.
Yes,
And
I
you
have been
some
doing that.
wonderful students. You must love music very much, and this must be your true talent.
I think that this is where I truly vibrate, is with music. That's where I began to really sense energy and to understand the movement of energy was through music. Mm-hmm.
You also wrote the music to the Lord's Prayer. I thought that was really excellent.
Yes, thank you very much.
Very good.
What I did with that was I took the music as it was written by another person, and I took it and chorded it so that it could be played on the organ.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is just really wonderful to hear you do that. Well, Noal is now a certified spiritual healer as well, working as aura healing in the Sunday aura healing service. He's also a certified reader, and he's gone through my psychic development classes and serves as a message bearer in the Sunday worship services. He also works on all the psychic fairs that he can find, that he's invited to, and just last Sunday we both were working a psychic fair at the church. So he also works as a reader and helps present the psychic fairs as well. Now, that is a lot of responsibility you have there. You are very dedicated.
Well, I appreciate you making that observation, Reverend Doris. I am very dedicated, and when I make a commitment to something that I feel deep in my own heart, then I am truly committed in the true sense of the word.
Yeah, well, being at church every Sunday takes a lot of energy.
Yes, it does.
Well, there's more dedication here. He has been serving on the board of directors of the church for the past 2 years. And I don't know for how long, but you also work with church maintenance. I know at one time you were painting the church.
Yes. There was a period when you were the pastor of the church that I was working quite a bit with maintenance. But, through my life, that has been one of the main professions that I was in, was maintenance.
Well, you evidently know how to do everything. You're the true Gemini.
I think that if you want to put me on the level of a Gemini and make it a true one, I think I would probably be about the best example that you would ever find.
I think so. I think so. You're multi-talented.
Doesn't show much humility, but
yes. Well, you're also very knowledgeable about energy of crystals. Now, can you tell us something about that?
About energy, I can. I can only tell you, Reverend Doris, about how I personally came into this sense of energy, and the extra senses that we have. That we know we have the regular 5 senses, but going into the 6th sense and all of the other senses, which we have many, many more than most people realize. When I first learned about energy, it was from a friend who was teaching Tai Chi, and I was doing all of the motions, the balance, and bringing the chi up from the earth. And I all of a sudden physically felt the energy between my hands and the chi coming up from the earth. And that's when I really first began to consciously be aware of the energy.
So I know you have a lot of crystals. How do you work with them?
Well, mainly the way I work with crystals is what I consider to be communication. Now, I use crystals for communication, not for healing. But there are those who can use them for healing.
What about stones and rocks? How do you get energy from them?
The stones and rocks, the way that I set up energy fields. For instance, in the shamanism, you learn how to make a medicine wheel.
Okay.
And you set them up in a certain configuration and distances and so on and so forth. It's something that, well, you know much about that yourself, since you're such an excellent astrologer. It's the same principles. It's the exact same principles as the principles in astrology. But all of this information is all interwoven.
It's all energy.
It's all energy. Everything is energy.
Okay, can you tell us what your involvement with numbers and numerology is?
Yes. Now, when I was studying, let's see, the numbers came in when I was studying about the geometric forms, the Platonic solids.
Okay.
And I started getting the feeling of what number 1 was, number 2 was, number 3 was, and so on and so forth. And the energy that I felt through those numbers was just through the 9 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then the 0, it starts over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each one of those numbers, I felt an energy for each one of those numbers.
Yeah, that's very true in numerology.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have brought with you an example of one of the very beautiful
Platonic solids?
Platonic solids
Yes.
that you, and I have one in my house. I took your class. Would you like to show the audience
Oh,
what
I would like
one
to.
of those
Yes.
looks like?
Yes. This is a triangle that is the basis of the Platonic solids. It's an equilateral triangle. All of the sides and the angles are all equal to each other.
Okay.
60 degrees. So, and the basic form in the Platonic solids is what's called the Tetrahedron, which is a
Okay.
four-sided figure. If you divide this triangle up into 4 pieces and you
Right.
fold them together like this, you come up with a tetrahedron.
You've got a pyramid.
Which is well, it looks like a pyramid. Now, a pyramid technically is a four-sided
Yes, because it's
figure with a square base.
and the same.
But this does not have a square base. This has 4 equilateral triangles
Right.
that make it up, and so it has 4 vertices and it has 6 sides. So that's a tetrahedron. This is the basic form of the 5 Platonic solids. This is tetrahedron. There's an icosahedron. There's a dodecahedron. There's the cube, and then those are the 5. I believe I said 5. I hope there's 5 there.
I don't know, but I really enjoyed that class. In fact, I made one of those in your class, and you showed us how you could put a knot on a string and put it inside, and then you could hang it up.
Like what I have done with this form. This is an icosahedron. It has 5 triangles on the bottom and 5 triangles on the top, and 10 triangles around the outside. This is called an icosahedron. It's a 20-sided figure.
Let's hold that up a little bit
A little higher?
so that everybody can see it.
Right there? Okay.
That's really beautiful.
Okay. You take 20 of these, which is the triangle, and you make this icosahedron with this.
Yeah.
That's one of the Platonic solids. It's probably what you would think of as the most complicated one. And the tetrahedron would be the most simple.
That must take a long time to make one of those.
Yeah. Well, but the whole idea of these figures, these things, is not what they look like. It's not their form. It's what the energy of them is. And this is where you asked me about energy and numbers and shamanism and setting all these things up. It's all tied into these things. And when you bring it into star people, you know,
yes.
Okay, psychic experience and star people, you wonder how the star people travel around. Well, they have to know something about how energy moves.
I'm sure they do, because they're tapping into it.
And that's where these pyramids in Egypt and where these vortexes around the world and all of these things have to do with their coming. And they're here. The star people are here.
Some of us are here and we didn't know that we were one of them.
That's true.
Okay.
And we're finding out.
Okay. Now, what about geometric figures? What are they? Or is it the same thing?
This is it. These are the geometric figures. It's the Platonic solids. Those are the solids. A geometric figure is a 2-dimensional figure. This is a 2-dimensional figure. Okay. Okay. A solid is a 3-dimensional figure.
Now, in my home, I have a crystal that looks just like that, but it's double. I mean, the same thing is repeated underneath it. Now, what about the energy that they give us? Okay,
well, of course, that gives double energy. It doesn't double the energy, it quadruples the energy. It multiplies it immensely. The crystal's energy is demonstrated in their form because of their 6 sides, and then because of the type of the conclusions that are at the head of them. So when you double a crystal, you double its energy, at least double it, if not more.
Oh, this one is an amethyst one.
Well, of course, the type of crystal that it is, or the type of stone that it is will make a difference. Everything in what we think of as our existence has some kind of energy. Everything, and it's always changing.
Okay. I would like to tell our audience that if they're really interested, that we could help them get involved with one of your classes.
Oh, well, that would be interesting. I am doing the class. I'm doing classes every other Friday at 6:30 until 8:30 at the church. I don't know how much information that you would like me to say.
Well, that's probably about all you can say.
Okay.
So that would be a good way to start. Okay. Where do you think all this is leading you to?
Well, that's a very, very interesting question. Unfortunately, Reverend Doris, to answer it, I'm going to have to leave it up to the psychics. Someone who is a good reader can say, okay, Noel, I see you doing this and this and this. Or someone else who's a good reader can say, okay, Noel, I see you doing this and this and this. So I cannot honestly tell you exactly where this is leading me.
Do you tune into a master teacher
when
you do your work?
Yes, I do.
And do you have a name for it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You don't have to say that. I don't think your teacher wants that to get out anyway.
It doesn't matter one way or the other. You see, I've had several master teachers during my life, but there's only been one that has been since I was born until now.
The same one.
The same one.
I understand they stay with you from life to life.
They can, and it depends. It just depends totally upon the individual.
Okay. What would you like to tell people about the First Spiritualist Church that we haven't already talked about?
Well, for me, the First Spiritualist Church is a place of love. And it is a place of growth.
Yes.
And if you would like to challenge yourself
to
growth through love, but it's definitely challenging. I have never been more challenged than I have been since I've been at the First Spiritualist Church, and I see no reason right now I won't be going anywhere else as far as I'm concerned. I don't see anything else in the future.
That's good, because you're definitely someone that they need to have stay there as long as you can.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, although I'm disabled, so I don't go very often anymore. And if I went to another kind of a church, guess what would happen while I'm sitting there?
I don't know.
I'd go to sleep.
Oh. Yeah. Well, one of the things I think about you, Reverend Doris, is that the only reason you go to sleep is because you have expanded your consciousness. You actually not expanded your consciousness. Your consciousness is the same as it always was. You have expanded your awareness to the point where you are so much aware of so many different things that there's not much that can hold your interest.
Well, I like to go to church when I can hear someone say something I didn't know about.
Yes.
And it's sort of hard because I have a library in my house that's just a little bit too much. But it's been wonderful because I don't have to go to the library. I've got one in my house.
That's right.
Although my daughters don't see it that way. They think that I'm a hoarder.
But you have in your library what you need to have in your library.
Yes, I have, and I have a lot of interests. And one of the things that I've loved about the First Spiritualist Church myself is, like you said, it's a place to learn, and the people are wonderful, and they don't get strange looks on your face when you start telling about a dream you had or some experience that you've been having. They don't look at you like you're nuts.
That is one of the things that I like about the First Spiritualist Church.
Have a place where you can be yourself.
That's right.
And you can say what you want to and not worry about ridicule. So we only have about 2 minutes left here. And I want to tell the audience to be sure to get some paper, a pen or pencil, and write down with the phone number of the church. It's going to be at the very end of the credits. And I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank our crew for being so dedicated. And I want to thank Reverend Noal for taking off from his busy life to be here tonight. I've been trying to get him to do this for 2 years. I'm so happy you did it.
Oh,
wonderful.
well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And be sure to tune in again whenever you can. And remember the First Spiritualist Church, where angels come and so can you. That's any Sunday. You'll meet a lot of angels, living and spiritual and out of the body. It's an experience. Thank you very much for watching. And God bless all of you. Keep on watching. Goodbye for now. And thank you to the crew again. They're so wonderful that they do this out of the love of their hearts. We're very blessed.